preparing to live stream.
And so I say, got it.
Yep, got it.
Now we're live.
Now we're live. And so done redirecting to YouTube, and then what about to Facebook from there?
So you're going to want to mute your, we got to mute one of your, how do we do this? I would close out of YouTube because but you want to see your people on YouTube. So maybe you want to, I don't know.
Okay, I've muted YouTube. So we'll just
Okay.
let it
That's
run.
cool. And then if we get questions or something on YouTube, you can see those, but you've muted it so you won't get double echoing weird stuff, right?
Yes, so
Okay.
I'll just share to Facebook. And
Okay, and tag me in your share, then I'll find it.
I am sharing to a page. I'm sharing to Inner Sanctum. Maybe it's not letting me do that for some reason.
Maybe you have to share to Sharon Martin, yeah? But tag me so I can find it.
Okay, done. And then tag you.
Hi everybody, we're just doing the tech as we prepare for our live today, and so we're just kind of settling in and posting our link to Facebook.
I think we've done it, by goodness. So I'll tag that to you.
Okay, and I should see that tag pretty soon here, so I'll just share it and then we can get started. Yeah.
So I might
there it is. I see it. Yep. Very good. Add to profile. Okay. Okay. I think I added it to my profile, so it should be on my page now. I'll just check it. Okay. It says going live now with Sarah Adams. That's just now. Let's see. Yep. Yep. It puts us in there. Indeed. Okay.
I think there's a bit of a delay.
Yeah. Okay. So we got that. I might, let's see, do I want to share it anywhere else? No, I think we're good.
Right.
So here we are.
Here we are. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
See, that's the thing, I suppose. Maybe I could overlay this over the top of Zoom, and then we can see the chat.
Maybe, yeah. We can get fancy. Whatever works.
Let's try that. Yeah, so there's a bit of a delay. So maybe I will mute Zoom. Hold on.
Mute Zoom and watch YouTube. Either way.
Yeah. It will be. Okay, so I'm going to mute Zoom now.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to work, Sharon, because then you won't hear me. Yeah, that's not going to work. Come back.
Done.
Yeah, you can't do that because then we won't hear us.
Good point.
So you just got to be in Zoom, and we'll get the chats, and we'll be a little delayed in answering or whatever.
Yes. Hello, Charlotte. Hello, Gazelle. We've got two people here who've commented. So welcome, everyone. So Sarah Adams and I thought that this would be an appropriate time for us to gather together and share our various experiences, because we work through the mother energy in different ways, and we often share our experiences, and they are often of a similar thread with a different story to them. So we are here on the Lions Gate in New Zealand, and the energy of the Lions Gate, in my view, opened at the beginning of the month. In fact, the kind of free Lionsgate energy opened earlier in late July, in my view.
Yeah.
But yes, in New Zealand, we've hit the opening of the Lionsgate already, because we are it's in the afternoon on the 8th here. So welcome to people from other time zones as you.
So Sharon, you're in our future, if you're in the Pacific Standard Time Zone. So Sharon, tell us about what's going on. How does it feel to be in the Lion's Gate? What's happening over there?
Well, in my experience this morning, I felt as though I was put under pressure. So I could feel it as though my head was under pressure, and then I could feel as though my heart was under pressure, but
Wow.
a pressure for expansion. And the Kundalini energy is really strong also. And it reminded me of the conversation that we had yesterday about how we saw these energies coming in. And so my experience with how these energies were going to come in was this idea that they would come down to the earth and then up through our feet and up through our central vertical core and out through the head, out through the crown, and back up to the universal firmament, if you like, or the ceiling, or the capping, or the energetic ceiling space, and that it would come down again as though it was in the shape of a whale's tail, and then come back down into the ground and back up through the feet again, and then into the bursting of the heart. And so this is very much the Kundalini energy. So it's as though we got the energy twice. That was what I was showing yesterday or the day before, that we would get this energy in our system twice, and that the second one coming around would have this Kundalini effect.
So you've been experiencing that in your body?
Yeah, big time. And the thing I got shown this morning that was really interesting, that I meant to ask you about yesterday, Sarah, is that I asked myself, or I asked the universe, this question a couple of days ago, which was, are we severing the umbilical? And today, I'll just share this, and then I'll hand over to you, and we'll see where we go. We have decided that we're going to be very off the cuff here today, and we'll just share back and forth. But today, the imagery I got shown in a visual sense yesterday was that the globe was sitting there, and there was this big kind of V portal vortex, and that was the languaging I got, was that we were available and accessible for movement. And, Gaia spoke about, we've been ready for ascension. The planet's been ready for ascension for months. We've just been waiting for more of the collective to awaken. And then today, she was as though the entire planet was this ship, and she's at the helm, and she's at the wheel, and she is instructing the anchor to be raised.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so
raise the anchor.
Yeah, that's right. Weigh the anchor, and everything is set. We're in position. It's all opened. It's all clear and ready for us to go. And as you and I spoke of yesterday, whether that experience on a planetary ascension level happens today or coming up, it's, in my view, we're definitely going to have it in the next few months, and it could be today. So yeah, talk about what's going on for you at the moment, Sarah.
Yeah, well, I love that idea of lifting the anchor. I've got a background, so sometimes my arm will disappear into the void of the virtual Zoom
into the
thing.
Rainbow energy.
So yeah. Oh, and this is like somebody's room. I just loved it. And the rainbow.
We were laughing yesterday about the fact that Sarah was sleeping in somebody else's bedroom, and what if they turn up here and think that's my room?
Anyway, whosever room this is, thank you so much for this beautiful background, and I hope I bless your room with the highest intention for beauty and light and goodness. So yeah, it's been a really deep birthing portal for me. just pulling out all the stops to bring what I am perceiving as my monad, my soul's monad. Now, if we understand, there's like the personality matrix, which is dimensions 1, 2, and 3. There's the soul matrix, which is dimensions 4, 5, and 6. And then there's a monadic matrix, which is dimensions 7, 8, and 9. And then there's the avatar, which is 10, 11, and 12. We're not quite doing the avatar yet.
But we are doing the next one down, aren't we?
The first waivers are doing the monad. They're embodying the monadic consciousness. And the monadic consciousness, in order to have the coordinates in the time space, in the DNA alignment, to bring in the monad, there has to be a lot of ego death. There has to be a ton of letting go of all agenda, of all forward momentum, of all identity, of the soul matrix. Because the soul matrix, if you think about it, the soul matrix, imagine a guardian that sits at top of the soul matrix level, right? It has more egoic separation consciousness. The monad has way less. The capstone of the monad, the guardian of that monad, has a much more expansive, way less identity with anything, really. It's way more open and vast. So when you're preparing for monadic embodiment, there has to be a lot of destruction of the ego at the soul matrix level, right? And so it can feel like the world's against you and like you're just going down, you know. And you watch other people like manifesting things and being in the top side world and being effective, and you know, it's that masculine consciousness is very effective and it's out there and it's living life. And yet in the first wave, you're getting crushed. I mean, you're going through the letting go, the surrender to no manifestation, to no activity, to basically staying in your cave and allowing, you know, your mental body to be composted by the divine feminine, right? Or by the guardian of the monad level. The guardian of the monad level comes in and goes, nope, this won't do.
Yeah, and the spinal purification action, right?
Just clears out, you know, just like ruthlessly, just says, this has got to go. Right. So for the last week and a half, I've been like on the chopping block. Just, this has got to go. And then the last 3 days was actively in labor and delivery with the monad. And that's been wild. It's been a trip. And but I woke up this morning, which is probably 5 o'clock your time in the morning, Lionsgate, right? And I was like, I was brand new. I was a brand new baby.
Hey.
And I was coming in through Japan. I was totally feeling, see, we all have all these different lifetimes, right? And there's at certain layers of embodiment, we can bring in like more pristine lifetimes. And this was such a pristine lifetime in Japan. And I woke up with just like, you know, cherry blossoms and bonsai trees and flutes and silk kimonos. And I mean, it was like, whoa. And this is not like Japan in this time. It's like pre-ancient, absolute, you know, benevolent, beautiful Japan. And so that's been amazing to come through that portal. And my kitty cat was right on my solar plexus, like the whole time, just like welcoming this piece to come in. And I found out my cat was with me in Japan in that lifetime. So, yeah. So it was like Totoro. She was sitting there with her paws just right with me. And I was like, oh my God, you're in Japan with me. And then I had this total vision. And I talked to my friend who channels the angels, and they said, yes, your cat was with you in that lifetime. So it's been magical, and it's been ruthless. It's been gnarly, right? All of it.
Yeah, it has. And this total cleansing, purification time, those who are kind of leading the way through this veil that's gone, ripped away. And the other aspect this morning that links into what you just said that I was showing is that the ancient codes that belong with us are returning. So for me, that was the experience of I dropped into my heart. I stood in front of my divine fractal of light, and I was and Isis was there, and I know that I was one of her daughters in the temple of Philae, or well, maybe I can explain that briefly because people can report. But for me, how I am shown, and I do a lot of work in the Akash with past life experiences or current life experiences, is how I see it, how I encourage people to detach from the ego or the egoic mind of the roles that we play, is that we were a fractal. So we were a fractal in that being, and we may have been snuggled up side by side with one another, but side by side with a lot of other fractals. And the bigger the being, the more fractals. So that's why when people say, oh, well, I was Mary Magdalene in a previous life, there's a lot of times there's truth to that. It's just that they weren't the individuated one fractal of Mary Magdalene. There were
right
group. So that's how I define that experience or explain that experience. But yeah, Isis was standing in front of my divine flame this morning, and so I was having those codes returned to my seat of my soul, if you like. And so that's what I was showing about that. So our codes from our ancient times are coming in for some of us now.
Yeah,
but certainly the angelic codes are coming in as well.
Yep. We could ask our the people that are on the call, if they've been feeling some ancient codes coming in.
Yeah. What about you people who are on here? Hello, children of the central sun. I missed you before. Hello. So have you been having experiences this morning? Oh, I might make this bigger so I can see all of it. Yeah, okay. And Dana. Hello, Dana. Yeah, what have your experiences been so far? Pop them on here and you can have a look. Oh, it's echoed. Charlotte's saying it's echoed. I don't know what we do about that.
Oh, she says there's an echo.
But is there still an echo, Charlotte? I can hear a bit of a fuzz.
Yeah, I've got a fan on. I could go get my headphones and see if that helps. Hold on.
Oh, so Charlotte's saying Egyptology, signs, children of the central sun, powerful for weeks. Charlotte's saying it sounds like a wild ocean. Oh, I'm so sorry. We set this up a little bit differently so it could stream in a couple of places. But I have got it muted on YouTube and just got the sound on here. So is it echoing just when I'm speaking? They're saying it's all doable.
Let's see, is that any better? Does that make any difference?
I don't think so. I can still hear a bit of a crackling.
I wonder if it's my microphone.
I'll mute and see if it's mine.
Okay.
No, it's still continued with mine muted.
So then it must. Let me mute. Yeah. If it is, I can go to my regular. Oh no, I can't do that. Hold on. Okay, so it's my technology. What to do about that?
Well, shall we continue?
Technology. I probably need a new camera.
Oh, so Charlotte's saying no difference at her end, irrespective of whether you mute or I mute. And they're saying no difference. It's background noise, and Sarah's no echo from either of you. It's just background noise. So let's just carry on. And I'm
Okay.
sorry everyone.
No, that's okay. We'll just carry on.
So I might just read what I read to you yesterday.
Yeah, do it.
Um,
Maybe I'll just strum my guitar in the background.
so what I got given yesterday was we are returning to our holy sanctuary, Earth, planet, and you and me, tasting, feeling, exploring our own nectar, our own internal chalice as we return to the Godhead, our eternal self, accessing eternal life and eternal youthing, coming into harmony and balance, peace, connection, and unity consciousness, each in our own divinity. So breathe deeply as each of you comes into your own powerful and self-sustaining system of being accountable for your own energy and be very in the present. So we are moving through now by being, I want to say, living through the breath and existing through the breath, the presence of the now through the breath, which we've been speaking about for a long time, but it's becoming more embedded now, I want to say. That then this creates this network of the unity grid, the divinity grid, as we create a new harmonic frequency that uplifts the all. So this is the beauty of this moment, is that those of us who, are in the kind of first wave of awakening, what we do through this portal, it has this knock-on effect, it has this rippling effect, it has this quantum exponential effect in both, I want to say, speed and value. And so it's a bit like placing a drop of moisture on a sponge. It's through to affecting the collective.
Nice.
Would you like to sing that song or a little bit of that song with the crystal chalice?
Yeah, maybe I have another one that I think I'll just do before that. This one is a song that's called "The Crossing is Beautiful," and so I always think of this one when we leave the dock of the old shore and we're being steered across the vast ocean and to the new shore, right, which is our organic fifth dimension. That's the great shore that we're attempting to reach in this time. And so this song is called "The Crossing is Beautiful," and it's the one that's just coming to me for right now. I see the shore on the other side. Heart is open wide, and my essence welcomes me home. The crossing is so beautiful. I can see the other shore. Oh, that is behind me. I don't need to look at it ever anymore. just feeling that love, that divine mother love that is coming in from Holy Father and Holy Mother, and is birthing us again as children, as the divine child, like as we put on our title of this, right, birthing the divine child, Homo Luminous. And yeah, Sharron, you started to talk about the crystalline chalice and these codes of the nectar. And what's my information really dovetails with that, because we've been building this, you might say, going through a mutation in the DNA, especially in the mitochondria, of how our energy is delivered to us. And we're moving from this external sourcing mechanism to this internally sourcing God source superconductive fountain, right? It's a radical mutation. It's a lot of unplugging from everything external and really going into the sacred marriage at the core, right? And and in that other song that I sang for you, it's a long one, so I'm not going to do the whole thing, but yeah, let's see. Now the crystalline chalice is ours to pour. Immaculate conception, nectar over the earth. First, I'm gonna let that nectar baptize all my body, pour into every crevice of lack and limitation. Fill my cup, drink it up till all is overflowing, and the only thing to do is to fill that cup, share that cup with you. And so just feeling that, anybody who's watching, feeling that as we breathe, that we're drinking in that fountain of source consciousness, right? That we're sourcing it. And the source point is really between the rib cage. That's like our 0 point sourcing, and into the solar plexus. That's where the 6th root race of Homo Luminous, we're calling it Homo Luminous, is really coming as we source into that solar plexus. And then right below the rib cage, that 0 point, bringing us into a new umbilicus with Divine Mother, which allows us to really drink of her, and that's the Immaculate Conception nectar, because we ourselves are accessing this liquid plasma light through this mutation in the DNA. And as I said, it's a lot of ego deathing to get into the Immaculate Conception where you can drink of it. So that, the great reward is after you disconnect all the parts of your identity that you've been, that source from the outside. As you disconnect more and more of them, more and more of the DNA starts to fold in on itself. And it would be interesting to understand, like, is this in the telomeres? Is this happening well, I know it's in the mitochondria, but is it a shifting in the telomeres? Because it feels like all of a sudden we're sourcing from this internal circuit, like
it would make sense that the telomeres would be being affected because of the whole youthing element, right?
Right, the telomeres are becoming maybe more circular, right, instead of that
or
dead
elongated.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're double backing in on themselves. I'm not a biologist, so I just know the feeling of it. The feeling is that you're drinking of your own source code, and it's amazing. I think eventually at the high levels of that, we don't need to eat at all anymore.
I agree.
It's
when that will
breatharianism.
happen, I have no idea, but that I believe that that will
Yeah,
get
that's our destiny, because we don't eat on other worlds when we're in that current sourcing. But that's a ways off, I think. I've been fasting a bit to explore that. But I always come back to food and go, oh, thank goodness I get to eat again. So I'm not quite there, but maybe more of the pranic energy that's required to feed the system is coming from that source circuit. So it's like it's not a either or, but it's a both and it just
Yeah,
needs
and
to
we'll
be.
do it a little bit at a time. I think it's,
Mhm.
we'll make those transitions a bit at a time.
Yep, my arm keeps disappearing. I love my arm.
Hey, so
Yeah,
let's speak about the alignment. So, yesterday we were speaking about how, there's this, well, firstly, there's this notion that we've reached this cycle at other times in our history, and that this is the same place in our 26,000 year cycle or our 2,000 year cycle. Um, that they both apply. Where Atlantis was, in its demise, and then that we're at that point in our elliptical evolution through space, but we aren't going to self-destruct. And there is something special in this alignment that is not part of our normal astrological cycle, right?
right. The Andromedan portal
Mm.
is open for the first time, and that's been a huge thing because we've been cut off from our higher self, or you could say our mother, the Andromeda galaxy, for a long time. We've been in quarantine, in a lockdown, and our higher selves and the higher selves of really the ascended masters, the ascended races, the aspects of ourselves that are ascended, have not been able to connect with the one in time here at all. It's been a very pretty thick quarantine veil, and now we really do have this portal to Andromeda that has opened, and so there's a lot more of a sense of that support. The Christed dragons, the original Christed dragons, are able to really assist us here and assist us on the ascension path more than they ever could before. Because we've reoccupied the Thuban star, and the Thuban star was kind of a central. Originally, it was the eye of the dragon, where the highest Christos beings, were guardians over the earth and the whole Milky Way galaxy, keeping the Christos Sophianic code alive,
Mm.
and the order of the ascended human, alive. And when the AI, black dragons and Omicron moths, and all the different contingencies came in order to take control of the Milky Way galaxy, they had to occupy the Thuban star, and they cloned the Emerald Order and made a false Council of 12, which could attack and completely destroy the original Christed dragons. And so they lost the Thuban star, and the AI beings came in and started and put the planet, under controller, loose harvesting, siphoning, prison planet. So we cleared out the Thuban star in May and June. We got enough. It's just the cycle we're in. We're in the return to Christ consciousness, and so things that were not possible before are becoming possible. And so we're as this team. This is all coming from my energetic synthesis team, right, with Lisa Renee, which is my biggest team that I work with. And the world soul returned to Machu Picchu, and we got control of the Thuban star. So the wrong position for the world soul, for the earth soul, was in Temple Mount, Jerusalem. That was wrong placement. That's
Mm-hmm.
not where it's supposed to be. But on June 24th, it got moved and activated under Machu Picchu in Lake Titicaca, and that's its position for ascension.
Right.
So we moved into world soul, earth soul placement, right? That's aligned with Earth, Tara, and Gaia pre-fall, which is the elevator to ascension, right? Is right in that alignment. And so right Right after that, we cleared out or before that, we cleared out the Thuban star of the AI beings. And so it's just this reclamation of our galaxy, of our Milky Way galaxy.
Yes.
And of course, Earth has been almost like the heart of this Milky Way galaxy cleansing. You know what I mean? It's like I often think of the Earth as like the planet that got AIDS, that
Right.
to sacrifice itself so that it could birth under the grip of death the freedom codes of the Christ, and then those freedom codes would proliferate out and free all the trapped dragons, all the trapped ascended masters, which is exactly what's happened. What we've done on Earth is blasting open all the higher doorways and freeing up all these higher levels, and it's rippling out into the cosmos. It's like,
But there's
which
this
reminds me.
oxymoron, isn't there, of it's this idea of we're dropping in and we're rising up,
Yeah,
and the planet is as well, and so we're returning in our physical positioning in the galaxy through this
yep,
as well.
yep. And there's a line in my song "Born Again in Love." There's this line, and it says, "As we unlock this key to love here on Earth, it ripples out in a cosmic rebirth, spreading to the universe far and wide, resurrecting all life in its tide, like a great and glorious mother's heart that calls back everything that's ever been apart, and we are born again in love." Right? So it's like this unlocking on Earth, which is proliferating up and freeing the archangels. And the archangels are freeing more of us. So there's this feedback loop between all these layers that's freeing itself through this just huge magnum opus of universal awakening.
Yeah. So there's this notion of somehow our being turned inside out, as well as ascending as well as descending, and the ascension process. Let's have a little chat about the ascension process and how you and I have both had this experience of noticing that it is likely to come with a noise. And so I got shown this noise that sounded like a boat engine going from forward and then into reverse. There was a lot of metal upon, like a metal cog against a metal cog, and it was very noisy, and it had that it took me to that memory of coming into a wharf with in a boat, and coming in quietly, but then all of a sudden having to pop the gear into reverse to not hit the wharf. And so it was that kind of noise, and then it's as though we're kind of descending down some steps to get into the right placement, and that for some reason has this clanging kind of noise. It's like clunk 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 clunk, so this is the alignment,
Clunkety, clunkety,
this
clunk.
clunkety
Yeah.
clunkety clunk. And yeah, so when we have this, and I mean, we could have it today, it's going to come with this. We're going to notice this movement, we'll hear this noise, and we'll feel it. And if you think about everything that's happening for the planet is happening for us, and that's why there's this definite alignment with what's going on with our solar plexus, for example, and our womb, alongside the planetary energy. But yeah, Gaia speaks about us returning to being the living library of the universe.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, I don't necessarily like hear a noise associated, a more but as you speak that, I'm like, I can kind of grok. It does feel clunky. We're definitely like in a like a gear shifting, a turning of a gear, right? Which isn't always smooth. It's like,
Yeah.
because we're really moving from a very fear-based reality positioning into this like full love-based reality, and so there's all kinds of adjustments, right, that are going on in the engine,
Yeah.
in the wheels, and it's like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, and all of these internal systems being realigned to higher levels of consciousness and higher principles as well. So we're having those internal chakra vortice alignments
Yeah.
that
And
we're
one of the things that Lisa says is that's really interesting. She goes, it's like we're living in a building that's being completely remodeled, and we're living in it while it's being remodeled.
exactly.
You know,
That's
you
what
got
I
to
say to
still do
people.
your
We're
life.
having, and that's what our bodies are doing. They're being, remodeled from carbon to crystalline. They're being realigned in terms of, well, I'm showing that we get a little bit taller. I'm showing that the spine gets elongated and we get a little bit taller. I'm showing, that we move into the higher heart and into the higher mind and all of those things. But yeah, we're doing it on the run. It's a pretty
Yeah.
incredible feat, and it's never been done before in the history of the multiverse, and so that's why
Right.
there's so many spaceships around and so many other planetary emissaries being interested in this process, because A, it's never been done before, and B, many beings didn't believe that we could ever do this, that we would ever kind of reconstitute ourselves back from the second dimension, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's been like a magnum opus of this incredible transformation, and it's like even more so because we were slated, I think we talked about this last time, we were slated to go into 5D in 2005. And that was when we were going to go. But because of 9/11, we had to shut down the Earth Stargates, which took us into Ascension Plan B. And it was like sad, because we were like, oh my God. I remember in energetic synthesis, we were having a funeral on the day in March of 2005 when we would have gone. We were just like all crying, oh my God, we're not going. And so,
Excuse me.
bless you. But at the same time, the amount of deep clearing and reclamation that we've done in this longer path, which Lisa
Yes.
said it became Ascension, because instead of traveling on the Earth Stargates, which is how most planets, the way they ascend is there's a certain alignment that comes about with their fifth dimensional aspect, and then they travel on the Earth Stargate. So the Earth she goes into the alignment and carries them right up with her.
Right.
And you wake up and you're in the fifth dimension. That's how it works, right? But because of 9/11, it was like, oh, we're going to do something different now, I guess, right? Because we don't have our Stargates anymore. We had to close them down because they could threaten pole shift. Once the anti-Christic, game players pulled 9/11, they were able to harness enough human fear that
Mm.
that they could pull pole shift and take us into full Armageddon. So we had to shut down the Stargates. So we lost our elevator. And at that point, it was like, okay, the only way we're going to get out of here is by becoming the Stargates ourselves.
Yeah.
We're all going to become Stargates. And the
Yeah.
critical mass of all of us opening this thing from the inside out is going to enable us to
And
get
that's
into.
why we show up as crystalline pillars on the surface of the earth, right?
Yeah, these crystalline pillars, like we're all becoming
Mm.
these, we called them like what, like crystalline Trinity wave
Mm.
fountains,
Okay.
right? As we move past our identification with duality and we begin sourcing this liquid plasma, we start to show up as Trinity waves, which is like an open stargate. And so if there's enough open stargates all across the earth, then we all become the stargate that we travel through. So it's like, it's definitely like the long way home, right? It's like
Yeah, and
this
it's definitely that
long
micro
way
and
home.
macro, and each of us being our own ascension planetary movement, and each of us holding space for ourselves.
Yeah, it's about 100 times more work than it would have been.
Yeah. But
But
look at
but
what
the
we've
amount,
become.
right, the amount of clearing, the amount of reclamation of these shadow parts, the amount of freedom that we've been able to bring to all the different levels of the archangels that were just completely trapped down here. You know, had we just ascended into 5D, all that would have remained trapped. So we've just totally got this amazing reconnaissance mission because we had to go into the internal, Stargate of our beings and build that portal out from like Agartha, from inner earth out to the outer earth, because there was no other way. We didn't have the easy way up. So it's been, wow, it's been quite the ride.
Yeah, it has. And I remember early in my work with Gaia, she showed me the internal of the earth being cleared out, and the dragons were doing that work.
Yeah, the dragons are working with us so much, and we've been freeing them, and then they've been activating us, and then we're freeing them, and yeah, it's just been. We started out with our king dragon Ezekiel's freedom in December,
Oh yeah, you said that the other day. I
and
was
in
not aware of that.
and in June Melchizedek, who's the universal dragon of the entire universal time matrix, he was freed in June when the Earth soul went into Machu Picchu. So it's kind of amazing, this freedom movement that we.
Yeah, this whole series of incremental steps, sort of in and out and up and down.
Yeah. So I mean, I know a lot of this stuff is kind of esoteric, but it's been, it's just, we can feel. What's so interesting is that so much can be happening on these galactic levels, and you don't see a change in the earth. You're just like, when are we gonna really see this change in our societies, in our government, in the quality of our lives, in our economic system, in our health care, in our ability to really heal and rejuvenate?
Now we're starting to see it now. That's my
It's a
view of
long time coming, don't you
it.
think? It's like all this work
Yeah.
on the inner planes, and then you don't even see it. A lot of people just think I'm crazy. Like, I have a whole world of my own that really isn't real. And I
Yeah, yeah,
understand that, because you just
yeah.
don't see it in 3D.
No,
It's the last to change.
yes. And so it has to happen in the etheric first, and then it has to drop in, filter in. But the matrix, our three-dimensional existence in this sort of encaptured, enslaved journey of this particular part of our earth journey, that is really in its demise now. So energetically, etherically, it's, to me, it just shows up like a few lost particles in the ethers now, and we're beginning to see that showing up in our physical world.
Right, and the disclosure timeline, right? Like, really starting to see the truth revealed, and see the corruption called out, because all of these systems that aren't in alignment are, they're going to have to be composted, and what rises will have to be something that's in the alignment with that, with that superconductive love. And I was thinking about, just this morning, I was thinking, okay, how do we manifest in a way that's in alignment with this deep receptivity and deep presence in the moment, right? Because it's, for me, it's always been this: either I abandon my presence in the moment, which is my quality of breath and of life, for this worry of financial manifestation, or I'm totally, or I'm broke, and neither one works. I can't just be totally in my own, not in the
your interference factor has been that you've spent so much time in the etheric that you haven't landed enough in your physical body until just recently.
I guess that's it.
That's the thing that Gaia has always said to me, is that the old way of manifesting is different, but as we come more into this phase, that we needed to be more in our physical bodies. People needed to take better care of their physical bodies, not just ignore it, thinking that their spiritual body was just going to leave and go somewhere. And then to be very grounded, because the energy has to be manifested through the earth and up.
Right. Yeah. The lower chakras, right? It's like it has to really come through those lower chakras. And it's been quite a journey to get, a 39-year journey to descend. And I'm still
Yeah,
kind
and
of
people like
very
you.
fairy even now.
Yeah, I know it's an incredible journey for people like you, who've been doing all of that work up there. I'm sure. I mean, I wasn't in my body when I realized when I began this journey and was told that I wasn't in my body. That took some doing, as well as on the floor in the kitchen with my fist at God. Funny. Um,
Why?
yeah,
Yeah.
why? But yeah, we're really in that time now, and also we're in such speed and such acceleration that this manifesting can happen very, very quickly at the moment. We have to be very focused on what we want, and that's what we can be doing in our dream space and in our meditation space. And we can be imagining up, envisioning how we want our new place to be, how we want our new earth. And for me, I want to encourage people to do that in terms of how we are with one another, how we are with ourselves, and how we
Yeah.
are with one another. The sense of community, the sense of each of us enriching the whole, and then the whole enriches the individual, and this kind of macro, micro, inner, outer. But yeah, the sense of community where, love is the driver.
Right, right. I love that idea of feeding that wholeness. Oh my gosh, I got a song for that. I have to change the key though because I'm in drop D. But anybody have any questions that we?
Let me see. Gazelle is saying the sky views have been so more magical and beautiful than realized before. That is so true. And that's one of the things that Gaia said to me ages ago. She said, when you know we're on the edges of the fifth dimension, you will see skies much along the lines of Aurea Borealis in new parts of the world, in places where they haven't been before. So that's in alignment with
The
that.
skies are, yeah.
So Phoenix and Sinead. Charlotte says, beautiful. Thank you, Sarah, for your song. Gazelle says, I feel that like they're coming to us through the babies that present on the autism spectrum. They communicate telepathically. They have a difficult time adjusting in this density. Maybe, are you speaking about the children that are coming, or the angels that are dropping, or the codes? Just pop that in, Gazelle. Certainly
Like
that's
the
been
children.
that's how I perceive the autistic people in my life, and those who come as clients. They are geniuses here, and they really came to the world a little bit early for ease, but they came to change and to bring change. And I always say to them, just keep in mind that the world is catching up to you. And so hang in
Oh,
there. Yeah, because that's
yeah,
what
it's
I
so
think.
beautiful because, when the autism, when people are struggling with autism, and it's like like you said, it's like, it's kind of like ADHD, like attention dialed into a higher dimension, right? I mean, they're carrying
Exactly.
codes that the earth is not able to accommodate yet, but
Mm,
but they're coming early to guide
yeah,
us and it's worth it to their souls, even if it's a challenge, to be able to
yes,
come and bring that new, like beckoning us out of the night into that deeper light. Some of the children that I worked with, autistic children, I mean, they've just been so beautiful.
yeah,
I
and
really, really
remarkable.
struggling. Some of them really struggling, but so just my heart,
Yeah,
just be like, oh my God, I want to bow at their feet, because it's such beauty coming off of them.
yeah,
But yeah, it's a juxtaposition of that difficulty and that beauty. Wow.
yeah.
So
They're such a
this
gift to
song,
us.
this song is called Love Song to the Warriors of Light. And I don't know if I sang it last time.
No, you didn't. I don't think so. I don't think I've heard it.
Okay.
So that's all of you people who are
All
here
of you
with us.
guys, anybody, right, who's interested in or who's with us now, right? I have a slideshow for this on my YouTube, Sarah Sparkle's Ascension updates. But maybe I'll post that link later on this thread.
Okay, wonderful.
But it's very
Right now.
visual. So as these words are coming, you know, off of my heart, this thing was channeled in the moment for Laura Eisenhower, because I love Laura, and I was writing her a love song. You know,
Yeah, she's been such a light warrior here on the earth.
she's been such an amazing light warrior, and we had a little, I don't know, we were having a little argument over something personal, and I remember I just sat down and I wanted to just tell her how much I love her, and this is what came. And so as these words are coming, just imagine, just follow these words and see what they're saying. It's very visual. Okay, here we go. No more talking. Oh, Divine Mother, we give our life that you may return to this earth, to this earth. Oh, Crystal Sophia, we descend into the darkest reaches of matter, that we can climb the ladder to the stars and restore the journey of Venus. Spirit resurrected in form. Oh, oh, we are goddesses from the stars. That's who we are. And we wear the cloak of the warrior masculine, vaporizing all the shackles of fear that have been laid down here. Liberation our cause. Liberation our cause. That all may be free, that all may be risen in victory, victory to the Spirit. That all may feel and hear it. And the song of unity rises in all of ourselves. We are all the brain cells in the one global mind, seeking to wake up and come online to co-create an emergent property of bliss. like a field blossoming all on its own, each lift of self coming fully home to its deepest individuality, contributing to the greatest unity. Oh, like a multi-celled organism with one surface, a multi-celled organism with one purpose, rising in love, rising in light, one great planet of glorious light. We all need each other to bring the new dawn. Your hand in mine awakens my song, and you awaken me too into the beautiful love. Oh, your hand in mine, together we'll climb the highest mountain. The joyous fountain ushers forth from the one soul as we become whole again. I didn't realize how long it was. Oh, my hand, your hand in mine, and my hand in yours. That's the only way our spirit can soar to new heights, a new dawn. The song goes on, but I love you, I do. I love that you love what is true. I love you, I do. I love that we love what is true. So for all of us who love what is true, right? And we just keep excavating and digging and moving and fighting for that reclamation of our divine birthright to live, as cells in this body of love, and rise together in this glorious, symphony of love coming online after such a deep darkness, and that's really the fruit of this great labor, is this uniting with one another, right? To remember this great body and how it all needs us. Like, we all have these parts that are these quintessential perfect parts in order to create this, incredible emergent field that's way greater than the sum of its parts, right? It's only through this proper placement of each part, each soul, on the earth grid, each land-based community. And right now it feels like kind of like we're brailing blind in the darkness to find the exact connections and the exact links, but knowing that that timeline does exist for us, and that the more that we sink into gratitude and feeling that it's already here, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that needs to be where our vision focus goes and our energetic focus goes, and so little on what's going on over here in this
Yeah, the dismantle, right? As the old world dies, the best we can do is be holding space for the new earth,
and to know it's so imminent, and this, who knows whether this will, when exactly this is going to happen, but it is going to happen. It is inevitable, and we're on the cusp of it.
We are. Amazing
this
time.
new experience that we are pulling in as we're letting go of the old. And so we're doing that in our cellular level and in our physical bodies, and the whole of our physical bodies and our energetic bodies, and then the same with the planet. And so we're really holding hands with this now, and that recognition that each of us does have that crucial part to play, even if it's just holding space for self. And that's a crucial part to play, and to be in this very moment, to be guided by the essence of each moment and each breath. That's our navigation tool now, is to be doing that in this very, with this very presence of who we are and where each of us is to be, and what it is that we're kind of guided to go and do or express or explore. And in doing that as our navigation, we will be in the right place at the right time, having the soul experiences that we've lined up for, and in collection with the people that we need to be doing them with. And the interesting thing about those people who are not yet awakened, that that God has spoken to me about, is this idea that, and I don't know about you, but I can be feeling the energy of this right now, is that we will be held in suspended animation. And so those who are not awake, what God said to me earlier this month is that they are not now expected to see all of the truth, that they're the more expedient nature of our ascension is for them to be held in higher frequency, and that the truth can be revealed when they are there, because our ascension, the kind of the importance of our ascension now supersedes that. So we are very close to this tipping point of the number of beings who are awake and aware. We're at that place or close to it, and that's what I've been told in a number of ways. So they will be uplifted by us and held by us, like we're, maybe we're taking an arm each and taking a couple with us as we go, so that at the moment, if they were told, what I was showing is that the cognitive dissonance would lower their frequency.
That makes sense. So there's like a buffer field that Ascension is taking precedence over disclosure.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense.
So that's what I've been showing this week.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens with that. And then my my friend Carol, I was speaking to her this morning, and I was saying to Sarah before that she has been in dialogue with Joseph Arimathea. And that Joseph Arimathea, so she told me what he said, and it's exactly what Gaia has been speaking about, and that we're in position, that we're ready to go, that we're in, we're in the zone, in the vortex, ready to ascend into our new world, where everything will be elevated and will be in our ascended space. So there's a lot of similar information coming from many different places, and it's all lining up.
Yeah, it's exciting when it all converges like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing I've noticed a lot in the last couple of weeks, is that many people are using exactly the same kind of languaging, the same metaphors, the same imagery. It's tighter. It used to sort of sit, out here, but now it's tighter. There's less variation. That's an indication of how close we are to this movement. Yeah, so we don't need to air all the dirty laundry.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love the idea of just kind of, we've been through so much as a people, as a planet. I'm all for just having the ease and the grace now. I'm all for it. Bring it on.
Bring it on. That's right. So somebody says, so lovely and motherly lullaby, brings tears to my eyes. That's Gazelle who said that. Margaret Bowley says, thank you, Sarah. That was beautiful. Charlotte Branson says, wow, so beautiful. I feel like I am bursting at the seams with so much unconditional love. So energizing and
Aww,
authentic.
thank you. It's so beautiful. I'll post the link to the whole slideshow that goes with that song,
Okay, wonderful.
right here on this YouTube comments when we're done, so you guys can go and yeah, just soak that in because that's like really right this beautiful vision of what's of this birth. And you can also find a lot of my music at sarahdams1.bandcamp.com. I'll post the links too also in the comments. And on Spotify you can find Children of the Earth. I only have one album on Spotify. I'm trying to get more songs up there, but Bandcamp has quite a lot of stuff that you can check out.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put that link on my
And
chat.
Sarah Adams Music on my YouTube channel has tons of songs. Sometimes I start doing my Ascension videos on there and I go, oh wait, this is my music channel. I'm like, it's weird. I'm like trying to merge, my children's music, my children's programs, my spiritual folk music, my Ascension channel. It's just like I kind of
Maybe it's all the same now.
maybe it's really all the same. Maybe I should just be like Sarah Adams Enterprises and just put it all on there. I don't know. But right now I still have Sarah Adams Music, which is mostly my music videos, and then I have Sarah Sparkle's Ascension updates. But if you ever want to hear an Ascension update, I go live almost every single day. So you can just go to my Sarah Adams page on Facebook and just look up in the album videos, and you'll see me going live, in my bed, in my pajamas, on the grass, with my guitar, without my guitar, I mean,
In the dark.
in the dark. You'll see it all. It's like really raw footage. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really have that vanity because I'm just like I'm coming out of the galactic portal straight in to give you the news flash. So I don't really have time to comb my hair. Half the time I'm not even dressed. But it's like right off the presses. This is like coming straight from the galactic portal. It's like, oh, I gotta tell you guys what's going on. So
Sarah often messages me at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sharron,
what's going on at your end?
That's right, because that's like 8 o'clock my time, right? Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, so that's all there. There's tons of footage of me describing every step of Ascension from the last 3 years. So you could just, But anyway, so Sharron, getting back to, do we want to kind of close or what are we?
I was just looking to see here. Oh, I'll just tell you, this is what came in a couple of days ago. Oh, actually, yesterday. Time is so expansive, isn't it?
It is.
I can get up in the morning and at the end of the day, I cannot remember that what I did that morning actually happened that morning.
That's what Frank said. Today he was like, wait, that was this morning? I thought it was yesterday morning.
No, this is this experience of expansion.
Yeah.
So yesterday I wrote, this realignment, reset into the 0 point, is dropping into humanity in a similar way to movement down a set of stairs, step by step, group by group, an alignment or lining up with the corridor. That's this vortex that we've been seeing, this sort of opening, in final preparation for anchoring our multi-dimensional bodies that are coming into our physical vessels, as they are being enhanced and coalesced through this plasmic light that's been coming in. And the plasmic light looks a lot like the
rainbow
that Sarah invaded.
I know, it's kind of cool.
Like that, but a bit more spread. It's a little bit more translucent. And this is as we come into divine love and unity consciousness and unity, harmony and harmonics to come into our 5th dimensional planet and beyond. And so we're moving into the sort of frequencies of the 6th, 7th and 8th and 9th and yes, to there, as we return to our original divine selves. And so this is our experience, right? We are coming home to self, and we're bringing all of us with us now, and this is the process we've been going through. So it's a bit like having guests come into your spare bedroom and needing to clean out some drawers. That's really what we've been doing in our bodies. We've been clearing out the spaces of what's no longer required. We've been doing our healing, tidying up things and experiences that don't serve us anymore. So attending to our trauma and releasing cellular memory so that we can house all this amazing light, this higher divine light, and that which is us coming home to self, as we are coming into our new earth, lining up with our higher earth experience, where we are meant to go, our destiny. This is it, folks. This is what we're lining up for, our destiny as individuals, as collectives, as monads, as soul families, as continents, as the earth. As we each become aligned with this ripple effect occurs, uplifting the rest. It's this tipping point of consciousness into our physical ascension and into our upgraded human body. So this is the process that we are in the midst of, somewhere in there, you know, this whole spiraling up notion, and everyone's in their different place of the spiral, but everyone's on it. And so when we reach that tipping point, you know, the whole planet will have this shift through the galaxy back to its position, and we'll be in this higher frequency, and we'll be redesigning the way that we operate as a society.
Yay! Yeah, I feel I think one of the most important, like, exciting things for me is that, so I've lived with panic anxiety and fear for so long, and being able to feel a critical mass of love supporting the field, so that just the love just gets so strong,
Yeah.
that the last strongholds of fear just kind of melt away. That's the thing. I think that's the moment that will be the most ecstatic for me, is when I notice, oh my God, there's the love is overtaking every crack, and where the fear could still survive. The love is embracing that fear, and it's all love now.
Yeah, and these fourth dimensional beings who have been responsible for inculcating the world with fear. The thing that's interesting to note, what Gaia says, is they cannot come. They cannot exist beyond the fourth dimension.
Yes,
So,
we've already done that game, right? We're done with that game. Thank you very much. And it was real, or not real, but it was an experience, you know. And
so their existence ceases with us when we shift into that fifth dimensional space, which is why they're clawing at the edges, because they're you know, they will have their own process of being
of evolution,
rehabilitated, or they'll have an evolutionary experience somewhere else, until
nobody left behind, right? Like no child left behind.
No.
Well, love, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty complete.
Yep. Jennifer Bellworthy, welcome, Jennifer Bellworthy.
Hi, Jennifer.
The voice of an angelic songbird, Sarah. She says, thank you, ladies, for your wisdom. So we want to thank you for joining us, because, you know, we are just the mouthpieces of human experience, and bringing through information from other realms, and each of you has your role to play, your position in the orchestra, your place on the team, and each of us has our role to play. So we thank you for being present here with us to hold this energy and to spread this energy and hold this joy. I mean, there's a lot of beauty and a lot of joy in this energy as well, and that's one of the beauties of your music, is that for me, I can hold that in my cells. It's a cellular experience for me listening to your music.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yep. And I do want to say that, you know, if anyone feels drawn to work with me as a spiritual midwife, I do love to take, you know, have my clients that are wanting to, you know, assistance with this journey, you know, because I love to be a touchstone and a mentor through some of these rocky passages. I've been on a 39-year dark night of the soul journey, and
Yes, yeah,
lots of tools in this tool kit.
yeah, yeah. That's
So I'm here
perfect.
if you feel drawn to work with me. You know, anyone watching this now or watching it in the future. So
Yes, so send me your link and I can pop that underneath this.
yeah,
And
it's really
well,
easy. My website's just sarahopeadams.com. Hope is my
oh,
middle name. Or, you know, on Facebook, Sarah Adams Healing. So you can find me there. But also, yeah, I'll put those links in a comment along with the songs I sang tonight. Yeah.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Sharon.
So just before we close, I just want to invite everybody to, to soak into the energy of what we're experiencing at the moment, to know that when we go through this energy and this frequency, that many of us will feel it in some way, and that it will be a higher frequency than anything we've experienced so far. So for me, what I've been told is what we've been going through lately, these heightened human resonances, these flares and filaments from the sun, they've really been giving us what Gaia calls ascension fitness. So our body's becoming used
One,
to,
two,
that's
three.
right, used to these energies and frequencies coming in. So it's not such a strong experience. And it may be that you're guided to just, go and lie down or sleep, because our body gets out of resistance when we're asleep. So that's a perfect response to this energy wave that it's going to come through and transform us. And who knows, but today is definitely, today the energies through this Lion's Gate, they're the highest frequency energies that we've had come to the planet in at least a couple of thousand years. And so they have, when I asked Gaia about that, she said we're sitting in the potential of this day. And so Sarah and I were talking about how, time is so difficult to judge in terms of this moment or this movement, but we're so on the edges of it. And so just be prepared. Who knows, we'll have other things that happen in terms of we're likely to lose power, we're likely to lose, because of the frequency, it will blow out our systems, and we'll have new systems that come in place. But if you haven't, you might want to get yourself a few supplies. It won't be for very long. That's my intelligence, my information is that it's Guy that always speaks about it being 3, 7 or 10 days, I think. It might be a bit longer than that we need to be looking for nourishment, but we'll probably won't feel so much like eating some of the foods that maybe people are eating.
Yeah, it's
It'll be
amazing when the
lighter.
frequencies are so high. We're
Yeah.
barely eating at all. I mean, you know, maybe
But
fruit,
having water on hand will be a useful
water.
thing if you don't have access to good water. Yeah, so I think we'll just love you and leave you, and wish you so much love through this time, because this is riding the love sleigh home, really. And it's exciting.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, that's right. Merry Christed light of consciousness. And take very good care, and feel free to let us know what your experiences are through this time. All right.
Mhm.
Much love.
Much love. Thank you.
Close.